I just recently discovered ChatGPT, and I think it's absolutely fascinating. So let's do something fun today. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say about twin flames. And I'm just going to type some questions, and then we will see what will pop up. I haven't done it yet, so I will be surprised just as you are. But let's start. So let's start with a very basic question. What are twin flames?
Twin flames is a concept often associated with spirituality, metaphysics, and New Age beliefs. It refers to the idea that each person has a twin flame, which is essentially a soulmate on a deeper level. According to this belief, twin flames are two halves of the same soul that have been separated and are destined to reunite and experience a deep spiritual connection. The connection between twin flames is said to be extremely intense and profound, often transcending romantic love and entering into a spiritual realm. It's believed that twin flames share a deep understanding of each other, often feeling as if they've known each other for eternity. However, the journey to finding and uniting with one's twin flame is often described as challenging and filled with obstacles. This journey may involve personal growth, healing, and spiritual development. Twin flames are believed to mirror each other's strengths and weaknesses, helping each other evolve and grow on a soul level. While the concept of twin flames resonates deeply with many individuals, it's important to note that it falls within the realm of spiritual belief rather than scientific fact. As such, interpretations and understandings of twin flames can vary widely among different spiritual traditions and individuals.
Okay, I have to say I'm actually pretty happy with that explanation. But I would like to add something what a twin flame is in a second. However, this journey may involve personal growth, healing, and spiritual development. It's not like it may, it does, 100% does. If that part is missing, 100% not a twin flame, because that is the sole purpose of meeting your twin flame. It is your soul wanting to evolve on speed, you could say. But what, in my opinion, a twin flame is, and that did shift after I learned more about metaphysics, the holographic universe, is that they're not the other half of our soul, because I always told you there is no half souls. We are always complete. I always compared it to identical twins. You know, there's one fertilized egg, and then that splits into people who are whole people. They're not half people, they're whole people, grow from that and are born, but they do share the special connection. Now that I understood Neville Goddard's Everyone Is You Pushed Out, I also understood that a twin flame is not more connected to you or mirroring you more than any other person. However, they are very similar in frequency, or not just similar, like the same you could say, or polar opposite, but still the same in other regards. If you want to learn more about that, I have an almost 2.5 hour video explaining different kind of soul connections. And even though I have evolved since I did that, so I don't believe that the creation of twin flames is quite as literal as I explain it in there. I think it is more something that is programmed in this matrix to feel this way, but I still think that in essence it is the truth. But I also always say true love is true love, and if a soulmate is your true love, then that is beautiful and perfect, and a twin flame is not better than a soulmate. It is just a different kind of journey. I also want to say something about this part, the deep understanding, the feeling as if they've known each other for eternity. We can have those with soulmates as well. So what is the instant click? I don't believe anymore that it is connected to past lives, but the same life that we live over and over and over again, you know, quantum immortality. And if you want to know more about quantum immortality, please check out my Death Series playlist. I talk in depth about that concept there. And I give you plenty of examples of people dying and then due to some glitch remembered dying, and then they shifted to a timeline where that incident did not happen. And I believe that that is what's normal. We live the same life over and over and over again. When we meet someone and they feel this familiar to us, and also it can of course happen with pets, then because you have lived that exact life already with them, They came and your soul remembers, hey, that's my body. I've already been through this like 135 times with them, or more often, maybe like 1,000,000 times, because infinite possibilities equals infinite lives. Just imagine every time you make a decision, the universe splits, and part of you experiences A and B, and that can just be something minor like going to the bakery and deciding what you want to buy, to, of course, major things, having a car accident and surviving or not surviving. If we play out each of these possibilities, then of course you do have infinite lives with people. And then when you meet someone for the first time in this particular life, your soul remembers. And with twin flames, it is very intense because it had been a very intense love, and because you have undergone that spiritual transformation probably already many, many times with them, and the triggering and all of that. So it is not the first time you're on that journey with them, and the exact same journey with just tiny alterations. But anyway, I'm quite happy with what ChatGPT has to say about it. This, of course, I see is something that can be problematic, and that is why I did my long twin flame video, the one I was telling you about earlier. Because in Germany we differentiate between different kind of soul connections, not just soulmates and twin flames. And in the English language you call at least 3 different type of soul connections or twin flames. And since the journey is different, that of course causes major confusion. And some people even say that some toxic trauma bonding connection is their twin flame. But let's just ask, why are twin flames by some people? I think the twin flame community is toxic. But let's see what ChatGPT has to say about that. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. ChatGPT, wow. I actually love it, and I love how neutral it is. So it's not like judgmental, but I love it. So let's go through those. Yes, it is intense, emotional, absolutely. We have the passion. In my long video, I talk about Pluto connections and synastry. I also talk about how twin flames are not platonic connections. They are strictly romantic. There are other kind of connections that are often confused with twin flames that can be like family members or platonic. But we do have the high intense and passion when it comes to twin flames. So of course that leads to heightened emotional experiences. The more intense it is, of course, the more it can trigger your fears. And that is meant to be, because your soul chose this experience in order to make aware of the stuff that have been oppressed. We have been oppressing that most likely for a while, and now it just comes up in order to really, really deal with that. Triggering unresolved issues, absolutely. That is again the core. It's the meaning, it is where the growth begins. However, this would say it is the very beginning of the journey, and by that I mean when we talk about lifetimes, not just the first couple lifetimes, I mean that can be in several lifetimes that it is that hard. However, if it's a true twin flame, it will evolve. It will not stay toxic. I always say twin flames are not toxic. They trigger us, yes, but not by, for example, being abusive. Twin flame connections are not abusive because they are divine counterparts that are supposed to help us grow. So the triggering is usually when we don't get our needs fulfilled, like we have anxieties and the anxious attachment style, and the other person is in the avoidant attachment style, and then they ghost, or they're just not ready, or they're not choosing us because we're not in self-love, or they mirror our limiting beliefs that we haven't healed yet, or past experiences that we haven't healed. But they're not like abusive. That is very important for me to point out. Fear of abandonment and separation. Absolutely, that is one of the big ones. It is the first 7 years of our lives. If mom, for example, left us crying in the crib all the time, a child does not know that mom is still in the same room if it's not in the visual field of the baby. So to the baby in that moment, it is completely alone. And if things like this happened a lot, then we do have this deep fear. And of course, there may be other situations like literally the loss of a parent or mom was there but not very nurturing, or any kind of separation, like you or mom had to go to the hospital in the first 7 years of your life. So we do have those deep-rooted issues that then come up, and then we have to look at it. And again, that is kind of like the beauty in this connection, because only when it becomes conscious we can address it. And of course, that phase, it doesn't feel beautiful, I know that. But yeah, there is usually a lot of fear of an abandonment and separation in the beginning. But the more we evolve, the more relaxed we become. Not indifferent, but relaxed. Spiritual bypassing, that is one of the main issues, honestly. Individuals may use the concept of twin flames as means of avoiding or bypassing real-world issues and challenges, like people who are in toxic connections, abusive connections that are intense, and then they read about intense connections and confusing karmic connections, which come when we still have a lot of unhealed stuff, like a lot, and we are nowhere in the energy of being able to attract a divine counterpart. Usually we attract a twin flame when we've already started the healing journey, and then they come to show us, look, there's more issues, and now you have to address those. But they lead to lack of accountability for one's actions and behaviors. Yes, like, it is okay to cheat if that is my twin flame. No, it's not okay to cheat ever on your person. If you realize that you're with someone you don't love anymore, and then there's someone better, you be honest and you leave. Even if it's hard, even if it means leaving behind the house you've been living in for years. Or if your person is not separating, you take accountability that you've created them in a way where they're not separating because you have beliefs of them not being ready to separate, and you probably still have those fears of loss and anxiety and all of that, which means that you are no match at all for the timeline where they separate. Or if you're not giving them space, if they're ghosting, probably why they're ghosting, probably because you've been too needy or clingy in some way. And even if you're not reaching out like a million times a day, thinking about and constantly being upset about them, all of that they pick up on energetically and they feel it, and then of course they know we're there. Please watch my video of thought transmission in the manifesting playlist. I tell you exactly how every thought you have about them, they pick up energetically, and how that can influence your journey. Unrealistic expectations, I agree somewhat. I'd say somewhat because the timeline where you have the happy end, it does exist. Okay, you don't create it, it already exists, and your soul knows that it does exist, so you want to go there. But you may nowhere be in the frequency, as already said, if you have a lot of unresolved issues. The problem is with unrealistic expectations that many people see their twin flame as their savior. They have problems in their lives, maybe unhappy marriage or whatever it is, and they think, I'm happy as soon as that person comes and saves me. But a twin flame is not coming to your life to fill a void. They're coming to make you aware of that void so that you take care of it. You have to take accountability for your problems. They come as the mirror, not as the savior. So yeah, that can be unrealistic expectations, like they're coming to get me and I'm happy as soon as they're in my life. No, they're coming. That's my cat sneezing. That's she. Woo! They come into your life once you are happy without them. You still want them, of course, because you want to be in that happy relationship. We all crave connection, but you don't need it anymore. That's when they can come. But yeah, if you're still projecting your limiting beliefs onto them, as they're not ready, they're not treating me well, they're not separating from their spouse, they're doing this and that and that, that can lead to disappointment and frustration, because that is unrealistic expectations. It's absolutely unrealistic to believe that if you're still in resentment, impatience, fear energy, that they can come. Absolutely unrealistic. You have to be aligned first, then they can come. Oh, look at this. It's important to know that not all twin flames are toxic. It is true. Actually, no twin flames are toxic, I should say that. And all true twin flames, not many, all true twin flames find deep fulfillment and growth and healing through their connection with their twin flame. Of course, it does require effort. And the effort is not so much, yeah, with the other person. Communication can be important if you need to set boundaries, if that is something you need to learn. But true change does not come through anything you do on the outside, nothing like you need to talk. It is coming through inner change first. But I actually absolutely love what ChatGPT has to say about that. Let's come with another question. I already had those two in my mind, but I want to do a third one. So how can I get twin flame union? Dum dum dum. So let's see. So again, I'm pretty happy with what ChatGPT has to say. It's seen as a journey rather than a destination. To me, it is both. It is the journey, yes, but it is also the destination, because it's okay to want union. I don't know why some twin flame coaches out there, you shouldn't want to have twin flame union. Yes, of course you want to have twin flame union. Your desires are meant for you. The universe gives you a desire. It's like the donkey with the carrots. But you're supposed to get the carrot in the end. And that is completely okay. The beginning of the journey, or let's say more like the beginning of the middle part, once you understood, you have to grow. Often, and that was for me as well, I did not do the work for myself. The motivation was the other person. And that is fine. Because along the way, once you have cleared some stuff, it will become more about you. So don't let anyone tell you you're not supposed to want to have twin flame union. Yes, you are supposed to want it. The universe gave that desire to you. So you having it is important to the universe. And also it means it already exists. The union timeline, time is an illusion. Where you are with your person already exists. It is only your job and only your job to get there. It's only yours. No one can take you there. I mean, a coach like myself, we can lead the way. I can give you tools on how to get there. And I've already helped plenty of people. But I can't do it for you. No one else can do it for you. But you can want it. It is your right. It is your birthright. But the journey is important. You will only get there if you go the steps to get there. Self-awareness and personal growth. Of course, that is the most important fact. Again, we cannot point the finger at the other person. They are ... not ready. Whatever. They're not ready because you're not a match to the version of them that is already ready. And you can watch my video on how to manifest your twin flame step by step, because I tell you exactly what the limiting beliefs are and how to overcome them. I mean, it is personal growth. So there is, fortunately, like a blueprint somewhat. Spiritual practice, yes. I mean, meditation, prayer, whatever it is, but meditation, it is important. Letting go of attachment. I already said, we're not letting go of wanting it. We're letting go of needing it in order to be happy. That's very important, and it's quite a difference. It's like you can want to have ice cream, but do you need it? No, you just want to enjoy it. You just want to enjoy being with the person you love. Completely fine. Yes, clearing energetic blocks or negative patterns. One pattern could be being too clingy, not giving them space. Energetic blocks, old fears, negative stuff we have experienced and not healed. Communication and boundaries. Yeah, it can be sometimes important. It says that true change does not come by communicating, it comes by the inner change. But sometimes it is important to set boundaries because we've never done it before. And also, of course, it is a practice. We navigate life in a 3D somewhat as well, but again, true change comes energetically. Patience and trust. Patience does not mean that it has to take long. I mean, it takes a while. You have to reprogram your mind and heal stuff, right? You don't do that in 5 weeks. But if patience is the thing you want to learn or need to learn, your soul wants to learn, then it doesn't mean that it has to take long. Patience is inner peace with this situation. It means no longer being in the lack mentality, no longer ordering them not being there, but constantly thinking that they're not there. And of course, trust. because trust means that you know you can have them. Trust means you know that you are connected. It means that you know that this timeline already exists. So I love that. I love how ChatGPT actually deals with this. I just decided I'm now going to make another video. I pretend to be someone who is on a twin flame journey and in that pain, and then I see what ChatGPT has to say to that. So that is going to be a different video. Make sure you subscribe.
Well, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments below, check out my other content, and make sure to check out the entire Twin Flame 101 playlist. I have over, I believe, 120 videos, maybe even already way more than those, that should answer pretty much every twin flame related question you could have. I have been coaching people on their soul connection journeys for 19 years now, talking to thousands of people. So of course, I give you a lot of what I have learned talking to those people, and of course, obsessive research. And you will find all of that in that playlist. If you need extra help, of course, you can reach out for personal coaching. My information is in the description box below. Check out my robotic affirmation and subliminal meditations. You will find playlists on here, and also in my new channel, Janine Nicole Robotic Affirmations and Subliminals, because self-concept is key to manifest your twin flame. We all know inner union has to come first. So I do have plenty of videos to get you there to attract your twin flame as fast as possible in the most harmonious way. So I do see you there in my other content or in personal coaching. Until then, I wish you all the best now. Bye-bye.
If you want to book your own custom-made affirmation or subliminal, you will find my contact information in the description box below.